With the SEC championship game just a few days away, I want to take a few minutes and talk about what Bryce Young needs to do for this Alabama offense and what he can potentially do to put this offense in the best position possible to have some success against this Georgia defense. Quick takeaways before we dive into the actual film, because I want to watch some film of Georgia's defense. It's going to kind of help hammer home the point. But if you're Bryce Young, you have to make two types of throws, and they're both difficult types of throws. Number one, you have to complete passes with pressure in your face. Even though Georgia doesn't always bring more than four guys. A lot of times it's three or four, but most of the time they bring four. They still get pressure. They do it often. They have 41 sacks in the season. And even when they don't get sacks, they're going to create some uncomfortableness for Bryce Young in the pocket. So it's completing passes with pressure in your face and doing it consistently, and then completing passes within very small, tight windows, right? So completing passes with pressure in your face and completing passes into small windows. You're also going to have to realize and just recognize that Georgia's going to try to bait you into making bad decisions. You're going to show one thing pre-snap, something totally different post-snap. We're going to look at that at film. And then one thing that may or may not be successful, I think is worth trying, is getting Bryce Young rolling out some. Now, Georgia's done a good job at fitting this. We're going to look at this at film. But if you can potentially get a receiver open or just a way to slow down that pressure by having some design rollouts, that could be a potential way to slow down that pressure and have some easy completion. So again, we're going to look at some film of Georgia's defense to kind of hammer home these points, but real quick, just kind of wrap up what we're going to look at. Completing passes with pressure in the face, completing passes in tight windows, and recognizing that what they do pre-snap doesn't always mean what they're going to do post-snap. Before we look at this film, I just want to encourage y'all to consider subscribing to the channel if you like any quarterback-related content like this. We'll keep on going through the offseason and put out quarterback content. Let's get into this Bryce Young versus Georgia defense film. So like we talked in the beginning of the video, I don't think you have to have big-time plays, right, or big, deep throws. I think it's throws like we're going to watch here, short or intermediate throws that can help sustain drives and move you downfield. So I think throwing with pressure in the face, let's watch this play. It's actually a good job by Nix. Gets hit, delivers a good ball. Throwing with pressure in your face is something that Young's going to have to do to beat this Georgia defense. And we see, we're going to watch more clips, obviously, but we see Georgia gets pressure just bringing 3 or 4 guys. We're going to see how many guys they bring here. Again, it looks like they're bringing 5 before the snap, right? That's something that they do a lot. They do a lot of different looks pre-snap, then they do something totally different post-snap, right? So they're so hard to kind of digest here. And then we'll see this guy come in motion. Let's go ahead and watch the pressure here. All right, so they just bring 4, right? They get pressure with 4. We're going to see it's not even a big window Nix is able to fit it there anyways, right? And so making these type of throws with pressure in the face, here in the window here, these type of throws I think Young's going to have to make time and time again against this Georgia defense, which isn't a big deal, right? He can definitely do it. It's just being consistent about it. So one of the main keys for Bryce Young is making throws with pressure in his face and doing it consistently against this Georgia defense. So here we're going to see how quickly Georgia's defense gets pressure on Nix here. They just bring 4, right? They do a stun up here. They got 1 up top safety, bring the safety down, right? We call that a robber here, right? So they try to bait you into making a bad throw. And so it's actually a good job by Nix getting out of pressure here. But the point of the video is how quickly they get pressure with just bringing 4 guys here, right? So they bring 4, just 4. They drop 1 back here. You can see they bring the safety here. They try to bait you. So they want to bait you into making a quick throw. Get pressure on you quick, bait you to making a quick throw. But they bring the safety down that can intercept one of these quick throws here that we saw against Clemson. We're going to show that pick six against Clemson. And they have 1 up top safety here. So pre-snap, they show 2 high, and then they really just have 1 high. All manned up across the board here. Nick's able to escape and not be a total disaster play. But the example here, with the takeaway here, is how quickly they get pressure with just 4 guys and them trying to bait you into making a bad throw. So if you're Bryce Young, don't take the bait. It's okay to scramble, throw it away. You see pressure comes fairly quick with just 4 guys. He's able to escape and at least get something. But if you're Bryce Young, throw it away. Don't take the bait and throw in that slant quick route they want you to throw with that robber safety coming in. So another example here of Georgia showing something pre-snap. I don't even know what they're showing pre-snap, right? And then doing something totally different post-snap. So again, they have X amount of people, 7 people on the line, even though their hands aren't on the ground. We can call it 7 on the line. They just bring 4. It's a good job by Nix here. This is a good throw, good anticipation. The receiver's got to catch that ball. So takeaways here from Young. I think just kind of going off the theme of the whole video, they show one thing pre-snap or they try to confuse you pre-snap. Then watch post-snap. A lot of times they get into a cover 3 look. So even though it looks man to the boundary, he's bailing, right? We got thirds, and thirds. And so where's the holes for the thirds? Well, in between those thirds, right? And so we got a cover 3 here with a stunt going on the line. They bring 4. Ball is out. That's a good ball there by Nix. And so if you're Bryce Young, you're going to have to make some of these tight throws. So I know we talked about having completing balls or completing throws with pressure in the face. You're going to have to complete some throws that are very, with windows that are pretty small like this one here. We're going to watch this play. Again, it looks like Georgia's bringing a bunch. They just bring 4. And when they don't get pressure right off the bat, you can tell the line is in his face, right? Another second, pressure is there. That's a hell of a throw. Good read by Nix to go ahead and get rid of the ball. And so if you're an Alabama receiver, you will of course want to catch that ball. So again, there are opportunities against Georgia's defense, but it's going to have to be a game from everyone. So a good example of completing balls in some tight spaces and some tight windows. So real quick, pre-snap, it shows 2 high, right, and we're going to have 1 come down. So we do have that robber effect here, trying to bait you in his throw. And a lot of times, if you're watching, you aren't going to be able to see the 2 high safeties on the broadcast footage. But a lot of times, just if you're interested in knowing, if safeties are within inside the hash, a lot of times that tells us one's dropping down to be a kind of a robber position. Not all the time, but sometimes that could be a takeaway. And this is what happens here for Georgia. We see a safety drop in. Dix does a good job getting rid of the ball actually quickly. I think he catches it, yeah. But we still see the Georgia showing. Let's go back to that angle. We still see Georgia showing something pre-snap, doing something totally different post-snap, and they still get pressure, right? And Nix gets the ball out quick, but if he holds it for another half second, pressure is there, right? Look, that's hard to, that's a tougher throw than it looks like from the middle of the field over here. Really tight window as well. So this kind of bodes, kind of wraps up everything we've talked about as far as Georgia showing one thing pre-snap, going something else post-snap, completing the ball into a tight window like we saw there, and completing a ball with pressure in his face. We'll watch it from this angle. Again, pressure in the face, tight window, and then they showed one thing pre-snap, did something else post-snap with that robber, even though it didn't affect the play. So it's something to know about. They're trying to bait you into making a quick, bad decision. All right, so even though it's not the exact look that we saw in some of these clips against Auburn as far as the robber goes, right, where you have 1 safety or 2 safeties high and they drop 1 and snap the ball, they're already kind of in a robber position. The safety's already kind of creeped in here, so technically it's still that robber position, but it's just a different look, right? But the point remains the same. We're going to see DJU throws that pick 6 right here, and he's baited into throwing that. So watch him here. Now the safety can start up here. The safety can start even with each other, or the safety can start creeped in like he does here. So this right here, we would count as just a 1 high look. But regardless what happens, it's still the point that they're trying to bait you into making these type of throws. It looks like it's there, but in reality it's not, right? So let's go ahead and kind of watch it in slow motion. So we see right off the bat, you see he's baiting in here. He has no intentions of staying here, right? Right off the bat, he's coming into this zone here because this safety is going this way. And so he's baiting, ball's out. That's an easy pick, boom, and then he's able to go for the pick 6, right? So again, he's just trying to bait you into making that slant throw. So if you're Bryce Young, realizing that, knowing what they're trying to do and avoiding those type of plays here, regardless if it's 2 high safeties or if it's 1 and they creep down like that. So again, watch out for that robber type of look that Georgia does, or just them trying to bait you in general. So here we're going to see a roll-up by Nix here, which I actually like, and I like this plan. I think Bryce Young and Bama can do some of this and get him outside the pocket, get the ball out quick. But look how fast Georgia's defense is to this, and they got everyone covered up here. So even though I like this thought, getting him out of the pocket, we're going to see no one's really open here, right? You got an up-top safety taking this guy going deep. This corner's dropping down to here. If he would have thrown this, that's a pick. So again, they're trying to bait him into throwing this type of ball. Everyone's covered here. And so if you do decide to do a rollout here, notice how quickly pressure gets. So if you do decide to try to get outside the pocket, you want to make sure you have some options available there, or have an option just to get rid of the ball here. But I do like this thought, and so if you're Alabama and Bryce Young, I think it's worth doing something like this, where trying to get outside the pocket, but look how quickly they get pressure still, right? And no one's open. So just being aware of that. But I do like the thought. I do think there could be something there, especially with the threat of Alabama's deep passing game, especially when Williams is back in the second half, that could open up some stuff down here when you get rolling out. So again, even though it was defended perfectly here, I do like that potential there with Bryce Young getting outside the pocket. So, of course, there are a lot more factors in this game than just Bryce Young versus Georgia's defense, but we're a quarterback channel, so we're just looking at it from the quarterback point of view and how he can potentially attack this Georgia defense and what to expect from Georgia's defense. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about Bryce Young's chances against this Georgia defense? What do you think the outcome is going to be? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the next quarterback-related video.